Sills National Football Shows, please hit the like button. I'll say this to you here. The priorities of the Eagles today, they checked one of them off, got the coordinators, evaluating the draft talent, free agency. They're going to go down the calendar. Don't you see their behavior? Got the coordinators done at the combines, addressing free agency, addressing the draft, addressing Jalen Hurts. You have to see this. Right? I mean, that's how they're going to go down the line of progression here. By the way, all priorities. All of these are priorities. The question will come down, once again, can Howie duplicate what he did last year? That's going to be the major point of this whole thing. Okay? It is. By the way, we're going to get into salary cap here, and I'm going to show you where some of the Eagle free agents are going to go and who will offer them and a need on the team. We're going to do that here in a second. Would you go into free agency and pay for a free agent running back? How about Saquon Barkley? Weaken the Giants. A damn good football player. All pro. Would you be interested in Saquon Barkley? Say you gave him $7 million with 10 with incentives, and he gave you a 1,500-yard year. By the way, he's a better pass catcher than Miles Sanders. You see, that's the thing. I don't think they dislike Miles Sanders. I think they want a different type of back than Miles Sanders. I think they want to. Why do you think Howie kicked the tires on Christian McCaffrey? He wants someone like that for Hurts. Screenplays, middle screens. You know who would be really good? Tony Pollard is the kind of guy that I think would be interested in. A dude like that. Okay? I mean, anytime you can weaken someone, ask the Cowboys when they weakened the 49ers when they took Charles Haley. How was that? Bang! Ed DeBartolo says, two biggest moves that were regrets of mine were letting Montana go to Kansas City and Charles Haley go to Dallas. I mean, I would at least talk to him. Hey, see what he has. $7 million may be a little rich. I'm trying to get back to the NFC title game here, though. You would have to at least entertain that. Talk to Josh Jacobs, 25 years old. The Raiders are a train wreck. They need a quarterback and a running back, and they're letting two all-pros go. It doesn't make sense. How you run your organization. I mean, they've been the Redskins / Commanders of the West Coast. A train wreck. My problem, again, with a little bit on Barkley is his injury issues. That's my problem with him. I'd have to, look at that. And this is why maybe how he can work his magic. I can't give you 10, dude. I know you want 10. I can't do that, man. But I'll give you 7, 6.5 with incentives if you're healthy. You start to get roster bonuses. If you're there after week 12, you get an additional $300,000. If you're there after week 15, you get another $500,000, something like that. You structure it like that because, again, if he gets on the open market, which I think he's going to. And by the way, how dumb is that whole thing in New York right now with Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones, get your shit. Get the hell out of New Jersey. I'll sign Derek Carr for $35 million. My other 10 goes to Barkley, and I got both a quarterback and my running back, and I got 2 for the price of 1. Instead, you got a nobody holding you hostage. Jesus criminy, guy. Dude, Jalen Hurts must be sitting back with clutch sports people and go like this. I don't have to open my mouth. This guy, Daniel Jones, is asking for $45+ million. Jalen doesn't have to say anything. Daniel Jones is setting the market. Or he thinks he is. Daniel Jones is setting the market. How? Holy shit. Has the quarterback position completely blown up. These guys are egomaniacs. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not putting Jalen in that. But who would have thought that Daniel Jones would set the quarterback market? Daniel Jones. I'm out. Hey, Sills, guess who wants to talk about his contract? Daniel Jones. If I'm the GM of the Giants, oh, good. Yeah, come on in, man. Jones sits down with his agent, and the guy goes, yeah, we're looking at 4 years, $45 million a year. I'm sorry? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a little deaf in this side over here because I just got hit in the head with a brick. Can you say that again? Yeah, we want 45 for 4 years. Total. No. Per. I'm sorry. Again, I'm a little deaf in this ear. Can you come over to this side? Be like, dude, I'm not paying that for that guy. Dimes Jones. Holy shit. I'd kick that guy's ass out of my office, man. I would never let that guy call my general manager again. I would make him apologize. Hey, Mr. Schoen, I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was saying. You know, I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe I'm like that guy down in South Carolina, man, at the oxycodones. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened. I'm a little nuts right now. Jesus, criminy. This guy's out of his mind. Dude, you must be on some weirdo drug, man, to think that I'm going to pay you $45 million. Daniel Jones is setting the market. Jones has to say it? No, you know what Derek Carr did? Derek Carr telegraphed it. I'm only taking 35. That's why he's got 10 teams lined up. That's why he's got 10 teams lined up. He and his agent came out, but you know it was a really great kick in the pants and into the groin of the Raiders and Mark Davis. They wanted him to restructure his contract. You know, when that thing clicked in, and he went, absolutely not. February, there was a date in there somewhere where it clicked into $30 million guaranteed. They owed it to him. He goes, no. They had to pay him this money on the way out the door. So he goes like this with his agent. Everyone starts sending out the smoke signals like he's the Pope in Rome. You know, he starts sending out the smoke signals. I only want 35. Everyone's like this. Hey, I might be in for that. Carolina, the Jets, the Giants. I might, the Texans could be in for that. Yeah. Then you got a guy down there going, hey, I had one half of a decent year and a good game against a shitty Minnesota team, and I want 45 per. Dude, give me Mike Glennon. Boom. Holy cow, this guy. Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to show you where some of these Eagle guys are going to land here. The Bears have they have $98.8 million in cap space. Javon Hargrave is their number one priority. Man, they're talking about a $62 million deal for him. They're going to pay him $18 million per. Javon Hargrave, nice knowing you. You're an Eagle casualty. Falcons. By the way, 98.8. Hey, James Bradbury, what are you thinking? Hey, CJ, what are you thinking? That team needs all kinds of help on defense. So you get CJ and you get Hargrave, and you weaken the Eagles and strengthen the Bears. It won't be enough to get them into playoffs, but you got better and you weaken the – dude, do you understand March 15th? This is going to be teams. Here are the teams that are coming after you. Do you understand this? That teams come – well, shit, they're probably talking to agents already, and that's when those deals will drop. 4 p.m. Eastern. You're going to find out what an assassin looks like on your roster. And, boy, I'll tell you what, man, Howie knows it's coming. Howie knows this is coming. So here are the teams coming after the Eagles. Bears. Falcons. Raiders. You know they're saying James Bradbury's going to sign with the Raiders as soon as 4 o'clock hits? He's going to be the new cornerback for the Raiders. So you lose that already, and you lose Hargrave. Oh, yeah, but you're the same. The Giants have $43.1 million. Okay? Could they sign CJ? Drop a $14 million nugget right there in his lap? Hey, why don't you come play here? Giants are coming after you. Texans are coming after you. 34.2. Sayamalo's going to make a mint. Shit, there's talk of Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox going to Cleveland. Andrew Berry makes sense. Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox in Cleveland. Fletcher had 7 sacks. They're coming after you. How you doing? Bengals. 36-2. Boy, Sayamalo would look good, protected. Joey Bay. You see Sayamalo? Went to Stoutland University, has 2 NFC championship rings and a Super Bowl ring, and he's 30, and he had a really great year, and he was awesome in the playoffs. 15-5. No. Shit, Sayamalo. Duke Tobin, he's got to be targeting Sayamalo. 49ers are already – I know the 49ers. I talked to John Lynch. He didn't tell me so much, but they said they need line help. Well, one of the best linemen that is going to be available is going to be Isaac Sayamalo. They need guard help. Oh, they're losing a tackle. They're going to lose a tackle to free agency. Patriots, 36-4. Boy, does Bill love corners. He loves himself some corners and safeties. CJ playing with Bill Belichick. Oh, that's a nice fit. And how about Miles Sanders in New England? Here's where I think Miles Sanders, where he's going to be really coveted. Chargers, Rams, Patriots. Depends on what happens with Dalvin Cook. Kansas City. Buffalo. Oh, he's going to have suitors. Again, here's what's going to happen. Watch this. Here's what's going to happen to Miles Sanders. Remember I said this to you. He's going to get through the first wave. Second wave, because it's the running back position. Then he's going to call his agent 3 weeks after the 15th of March and go, hey, what's going on? Where's my deal? Well, it's not the market we thought. Buffalo's got a deal on the table for $5 million a year for 3 years. I'll take it. That's what happens. I'll take it. Yeah. This guy's thinking he's going to make $7 million. All of a sudden, that first week goes by. Damn, I didn't go in the first wave. damn, I didn't go in the second wave. What's on the table? 3-year deal, $4 million. Bills. I'll take it. That sphincter muscle goes like this as the weeks go on. I'll take it. Oh, man. Look at this guy. Sills, you're lusting over the Eagles losing players in free agency. Way too hard. That's gross. What are you, a worm? Gross. What are you, 2? Gross. You must be in that pot hut of Aaron Rodgers up there with that hookah he's got in that dark room. I'm waiting for like the smoke from like the Pope's cavern where he's smoking his weed. Here's Aaron Rodgers. Hey, man, that Kudakiss guy. I'll let him know in a minute. Yeah, it's really dark in here. No shit. You've been walking in the dark your entire life, Aaron. Whether you're outside or in a hut, you've always been in the dark. It's all right, worked. I'm kidding you, man. Don't get bent. Don't get bent. It's all good. Me too. Love you too, brother. I'm only kidding. And I'm not. Can I tell you? Wait a minute. Work, can I tell you? I like to see how we work. Let him work on that 3-year contract you just signed. Let's go, magician. Come on, David Copperfield. You guys are telling me the Eagles have David Copperfield as your general manager. Let's roll. I want to see this. Hey, by the way, has Howie Roseman built himself an opportunity to be a Hall of Fame executive? I don't know, man. I'll tell you what. I didn't say no right away. I didn't say no. Howie Copperfield. Howie Copperfield is your GM. Howie. Lions 23-1. Will they come after any of your boys? Probably not. Here's the teams that are in holy hell. The Cowboys are $7.5 million in cap hell. Yeah, they'll be a productive free agent worker. The Rams 14-2. The Dolphins 15-3. This is negative. The Bills 18-7. Chargers $20 million in the rear. And you got to re-sign Herbert. Wait a minute. The Chargers are in worse shape than the Eagles are. Herbert's a first-round pick. They got to redo his he's got to get an extension. They're $20 million in the hole. Keenan Allen, bye. Mike Williams, bye. Khalil Mack, bye. Dude, Derwin James, you send that dude this way, I'm in. You send that Derwin James my way, man. That guy's my favorite NFL player. Okay? His nickname to me is Hammer. And that dude's an FSU dude, which makes me ill. By the way, the one thing that I still have to get over with your boy Sean Desai, he's a stupid Gator too. Yeah, he was like some sort of Gator ties with him and Howie. I don't know, man. Howie's a Gator, and I got to still get over that. And it'd be like Xander having to like Howie because he was an Auburn guy. You don't see too many Auburn guys, you know, on JAKIB Sports, do you? Not too many Auburn guys. That's why you hate. Batman goes, now I got it. Howie Roseman's a Gator. What? It took you this long to figure that out? Vikings, $20 million. Why they're cutting Dalvin Cook. Hey, Dalvin Cook, I'd love to have him on the Eagles. I think that guy's a great football player. It's another no, but I'm all right with no's. The Saints are $30 million. Dude, how would you like to be the Saints and be $30 million in the hole and your quarterbacks are Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. I mean, if I'm going to have a salary cap issue, please let it have Justin Herbert's name on it. Right? At least, hey, with Justin Herbert and you're $20 million in the hole. It's all right. I get it. I got to sign the guy here. But my quarterbacks in New Orleans are Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. Whew. And what's the other guy that stole money from the Houston Texans? Brock Osweiler or Trevor Siemian? One of those stiffs are down there. Right? Those are your quarterbacks in New Orleans. Sounds like a real good contender down there in the South. Small says, Sills, you spent 90% of the season calling Hurts a running back on Twitter. Yeah, he is. Jalen Hurts makes a lot of plays, and most of his plays and successful plays because he's dual threat. Yes, same with Lamar. Same with Allen. Allen's got more arm talent and will always have more arm talent. Jalen's a better passer than Lamar. Lamar's a better athlete. All of them are unique in their own ways. Is that fair? Okay. I know most of you hate, but Josh Allen is a unicorn. 6'6", 250, runs 4.5s, and has a laser arm. And he won 14 games last year. Oh, wait. Same as many as Jalen did. And in a better conference. And in a better conference with quarterbacks. You beat Brock Purdy. No. Josh Johnson. And what's the other guy? Christian McCaffrey. They ran the Wildcat, too, in the NFC title game. You got to throw that in there. With a 56% passer percentage in college. Yeah, and your boy fired at Alabama. End of story. Fired on national television, too, to boot. Sit down, kid. I'm putting a rookie in from Hawaii. I'm putting a Hawaiian in. Sit down, dude. I told you this, and I know Xander hates this. Nick didn't want to coach Jalen. Because you know why? At Alabama, he's got a ton of options. I don't have to coach you. I'm 10 deep at every position at Alabama. In the NFL, you got to coach guys. If you pay him, you got to coach him. Alabama, Nick don't like the guy, get him out of there. Get the next 5-star guy in. Bang. You don't have to do much coaching. You got a plethora of wideouts. Shit, man, they probably got 5 first-rounders now sitting on the bench waiting their turn. Believe me, I've been in programs like that. He didn't want to coach Jalen. Nick Saban's the guy that started that notion that Jalen Hurts wasn't elite. Wasn't me. Once they benched him on national TV. Wasn't me. Here are the top 10 defensive players. Okay? Every black quarterback has to be a running. What a tool. Josh Allen's a running quarterback too. Did you not hear me mention him? Man, anybody who brings race into a conversation on our show is doing it because they're low-browed thinking idiots. I'm looking to win. I don't give a shit what the color is. Green, blue, Italian, Asian, Jewish, Catholic, non-democratic. I don't care what it is. I want to win. I don't care what it looks like. If a chick's I don't care. See, you know the greatest thing about sports is you can't bring really race into it because scoreboards don't lie. In politics, people move their scoreboard. You can't move the scoreboard in sports. Win, lose. Well, I played really great in a loss. Doesn't work that way in sports. You lost. There's clarity in sports. There's no clarity in politics. There's just no clarity in it. You don't know what winning and losing is in politics. Sports, winner, loser, go home, good night. Trophy, participation medal, pick one. The winner gets the girls and cashes the paychecks. They're the ones that get the parade. The losers, they're walking off the tarmac at the airport with 4 people there. That's sports. That's got nothing to do with race. Winner, loser. Who are you? Nothing. That's why when people try to implement that in the world of sports, it doesn't fit ever. That's why you look like a tool. People are funny, man. I'm over that stuff. It's funny to me. Believe me, those folks are funny to me today. That's right, Neil. Sports is the greatest equalizer. Because I say this to you guys. Where in Philadelphia could you get 70,000 people in a building and they're Republicans, Democrats, Jews, Catholics, Protestants, Baptists, in one building rooting for one thing? Is there any place in the city or in the world that dynamic works still? No. It's the only dynamic. Why do you think it's the highest rated shows every year? Sports shows, NFL. Right? Doesn't matter in the stands. You don't sit next to your guy at Lincoln Financial and go, hey, you're a Republican? I can't sit here. You guys are talking about who's playing defensive tackle and if the D coordinator sucks or not. Let's move on. Top 10 defensive players. Eagles in the first, what is it? In the they got 90. What's the second round pick? Was it 62? I think they got 110. Here, I'll just do the first 4 picks. I think it's 130, 62, and 92. Does that sound right? Okay, so here are the top 10 players that are in the draft. These aren't guys that are going to go in the top 10 picks. These are the guys who are the top 10 defensive players that are at the combines right now. Number 1, Jalen Carter. This guy is a Warren Sapp. He is a John Randall. He's his engagement, his speed, his feet. He's the best defensive tackle and the best defensive lineman they've had at Georgia during the Kirby Smart era, and that includes the guy in Philly. My problem again, obviously, with what the news has come out this week, I would want to sit down with him. If he falls to 10, thank you very much, Dank. If he falls to 10, I'd say this to him. Now, look, Xander, I said this yesterday, and my wife and I were talking about this last night. She said for me to be careful because someone did die in the Jerome Brown accident besides Jerome. And I knew the kid. Jerome and I raced out front of the University of Miami. Smart? No. Are we thankful no one got killed? Absolutely. Did the cops stop us numerous times and let us off? Yes. Would I lie if I got into a serious situation like Jalen Carter? I would. I would. You know why? I would be afraid that it would hurt my opportunity to be the first pick in the NFL draft. Yes, I would lie. Then they'd come, and knowing full well they're going to come back and they're going to tell me the truth. And then I'm going to have to cover a lie with a lie. And then I'm going to have to come to a Jesus conversation with them. I did it. I was there. Right now, at the combines, the reason the NFL scouts want him up there, the reason they want Jalen Carter in Indianapolis is because he's going to tell them nothing but the truth. And that's all these teams want to hear, the truth. What was your decision-making process? And here's how I would answer it. And Aunt Betty, I'm going to answer it like I would at the combines and when I'm being questioned by an NFL team, which I have been. I fucked up, man. Person I know passed away. Was it smart? No. What about the other thing you did where you got, another ticket? I know, man. He goes, I've got to be smarter. If I'm going to make that kind of money, I got to be smarter. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm not in that position ever again. But what about what happened? Tragic. It would have lived with me for the rest of my life. And it's how I would answer it. Don't try hiding it. Don't try deflecting. Don't sound like a guy in a courtroom like we've been watching on TV, making excuses for everything. Just tell the truth. I effed up. My mistake. Did I lie? Yes. Did I lie again? Yes. Why? Because I thought it would hurt my chances on being drafted in the NFL. I'll tell you a quick story here about how Jimmy Johnson trusted me. And I may have told some of you guys this. When I got down to Miami, I didn't have any bed sheets and I didn't have a blanket. I didn't have any pillows really. Now, it wasn't because my folks didn't have it. I just didn't bring it and I was cold down there. So we went to the Don Shula Hotel and I stole pillows and I stole blankets. Next day, Jimmy calls me in. He goes, "Did you steal them things? Do you know the Shula Hotel? This is where all the teams stay, you stupid ass. Did you steal those?" I think he was expecting me to lie. I went, "I did, coach." "Why?" "I didn't have any pillows or sheets." For God's sakes. Get back in the drills. Next day I go in there. There were sheets, blankets, toiletries, toothbrush, soap, shampoo, all on my bed. I looked at Stubbs and Jerome and I went, "What's this?" "Well, who do you think?" I go, "Jimmy did this?" He goes, "No, he sent Kevin O'Neill, who was our trainer." I looked right at Jimmy and I go, and I've talked about this before, and I looked at Jimmy and I go, he goes, "Don't do that stupid shit again. Just tell the truth. Trust me. The lie will get you off the team. The truth will get you in trouble with me, but not off the team." I learned that lesson for the rest of my life. Neil, all I had to do was ask. I didn't know. But you see, when you're young, you'll lie first. So Jalen Carter lying like that, that's human nature. I'm okay with it. I just want to talk to the kid. That's why he's back in Indianapolis. They want to talk to him. Jordan Davis is not a bust. He is not a bust. He's not the 13th pick, but he's not a bust. Okay? Carter's the number one defensive player. And if he's at 10, think about what you could do here. Watch this. You have Jordan Davis on a rookie deal, and you have Jalen Carter. And by the way, who was the linebacker that played behind both those guys 2 years ago? Was it Nakobe Dean? So your entire triangle would be 3 Bulldogs playing together, motivating each other, creating leadership, all on rookie deals. You could pay your back end then. Cox gone. Hardgrave gone. 3 dudes on rookie deals? That's how you get better. And it's also, those guys got to play now. Seals, didn't you call some players monkeys years back? I did. I apologize for it. It was a bad call. Next question. You get those guys all on rookie deals. Okay? So you do that, and now you're able to go back there and address maybe CJ, maybe even Bradbury. Right? Second best defensive player. Will Anderson's the best defensive player that Nick Saban has ever coached. If I were going to compare him to someone, I think he's a better version of Micah Parsons. He can cover. He can blitz. Hell of a hitter. Hell of a tackler. You know what else I loved about him? He didn't have to play in that Sugar Bowl. He didn't have to play in that Sugar Bowl. And you know what Saban did? He kind of spot played him, took him out, but he wanted to be there with his guys. Isn't that an Eagle type of guy too? Now, he ain't falling. But, man, I love him. I'm going to play in the Sugar Bowl. You know what that says to me? I started something. I want to finish it. I love this kid. I root for him. Man, I think he's going to be an NFL superstar. I do. I just love it, man. Just a super kid. Didn't have to play in that Sugar Bowl. He and Bryce Young. My problem, Xander, with Bryce Young, 5'10 and a half, 185 pounds. I don't know. I'm still I've spent the entire week on that whole thing. 5'10 and a half, 180. I don't know. He's a fabulous talent. But I don't know. That's a little dude, man. The third best defensive player is Tyree Wilson, Texas Tech edge rusher. God, is he long and big and fast and wingspan. He's like the kid in Carolina, Brian Burns. He's built like that, 275, 6'5 and a half. He's fast. I watched him run some of the conditioning drills, and I also watched him run some of the agility drills. Hey, you know what was really great? You guys want to hear something that you only get here with Big Cells? I got to show you the picture. So when you watch the combines this weekend, you guys will go like this. Holy shit. This is Sileo's boy. I'm going to show you something. I think you guys will appreciate it. Okay? I think you guys will appreciate this. So the guys running the defensive line drills is this guy. There's Carl Dunbar. The guy running the drills for the D-line is Carl Dunbar. You know who he is? He's the defensive line coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he was at Alabama. Xander, when I think you were there. Okay? And he was there when I think Jeff Stoutland and Mario Cristobal were coaching. And he's now running the drills. I text him. I said, who do you like here? And he was telling me about every one of these kids. By the way, I got that list from him. The defensive line coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers and I had a conversation. I texted him. My wife goes, oh, my God, there's Carl. My wife knows him very well, too. We were teammates. And so he's running the drills. And he's like telling me about some of these guys. And this is why I ranked them. I ranked them off of what he said and what he saw yesterday. He says he loves his kid Wilson. Quick, great feet. Surprisingly good hands. Number 4 is Myles Murphy. He goes, don't listen to what people are saying, Sills. He's not falling. His measurables are unbelievable. The team really didn't have that hot a year the last 2 years when he was at Clemson, but he's everything you want in an edge rusher. Could that be somebody that Howie lands on? He could. Now we start to get to the corners. So far, here are your top 4 defensive players that are there at the combines right now. Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, Myles Murphy. Now we get into the corners. Christian Gonzalez, according to Carl, talking to people that running the drills for the DBs, They say he's really everything. Now, he's not as physical per se as Witherspoon, who's ranked 6th, but he's a pretty good corner when it comes to cover. You know, I've told you this before. He's a transfer from Colorado that went to Oregon, got better coaching at Oregon. Oregon produces some really good players. The reason he leaves Oregon is because of obviously the unsettled program. That program has not been good since McCarthy was there when they won a national title back in the day. Okay, I mean, they just have not been good. And when Eric Bieniemy played there, they were good. And I don't really think they've been good since. So to me, I mean, this kid Gonzalez is I would have no problem drafting him. I love the kid Witherspoon. He's my favorite player in the draft. Aggressive. Wait till I tell you what Lovie Smith, plus he's a Lovie Smith guy. Lovie Smith, this dude had some talent there at Illinois. No wonder they're winning this last year. Lovie just didn't get a chance to see it really fill out, but there's guys all over the board that are Illinois guys that he recruited. I love Witherspoon. I would love, and I think he would fit so well in the Sean Desai defense. He would play the role of Ed Reed. Remember something with Desai's defense. You're going to see a hybrid Ravens defense. They're going to disguise 43-34, but the Ravens didn't blitz a lot. Who was the only guy that really blitzed? It was Reed. They didn't have to. They got home. But they got home on disguise. You know what's going to happen? You're going to watch this defense sometimes and you're going to swear they blitzed. But they're going to run exotic twists and stunts from the interior and from the perimeter. And you're going to see a lot of it's going to be situational blitzing. But when someone says he blitzes less than Gannon, technically, yes, he does. But he's more of a creator, in my opinion, on putting guys in better positions to succeed. My opinion, you upgraded as a D coordinator from Jonathan Gannon. He's the next superstar that's going to be a head football coach. Pete Carroll raves about him. There's not a coach in the NFL that doesn't rave about that guy that would love to have him on his coaching staff. Remember something. This guy wasn't the D coordinator in Seattle. What does that tell you? Well, when you name a guy an assistant head coach and you create a special coaching position for him, you want him on your staff. You know, when Belichick got fired in Cleveland and Parcells took that New England Patriots team to the Super Bowl, they got beat by the Packers. Belichick wasn't the coordinator on that team. He was a senior advisor after he got fired because they had a coordinator. I think Al Groh was a coordinator on that team. If I'm not mistaken, I think that Parcells Patriots D coordinator, I think it was Al Groh. Groh's a Parcells guy. And they wanted Belichick on that staff because they wanted his input. So he will need quick edge rusher. Witherspoon will be gone when we pick. I don't know about that. D, I think so. D, I heard that. Gonzalez's sister is an Olympic champion, college athlete. Okay. How about this? Guess who the 7th best player is? It's Brian Branch, safety, Alabama. Let me ask you this. How about if you did this? We mentioned it yesterday, but I'm falling more in love with this. I take CJ and I move him to corner. I draft this guy, Branch. Put him at safety with Epps, Slay. How's that secondary? CJ at corner. Sign him to the safety deal at 14-4, get a $2 million break. Flip him over. By the way, you know how I justify the 14-4? Play him at corner. Put him at corner. I'm okay with that. 14-4 for a safety? I don't know. I don't want to get into the Jamal Adams deal where I got a guy I'm playing $20 million and that ain't worth the value to me. Put him over there. Put Branch back there in the secondary at safety along with Epps. Your safety position increases and gets better. Your cornerbacks, I don't know how much of a drop. Remember something, too. You guys asked those corners a year ago to play center field. You didn't ask them to press cover. They were center fielders, right? So I'm not going to pay Bradbury $18 million, Slay $18 million to play center field. And when they were asked to press coverage, they couldn't. I mean, look at how they played in the Super Bowl when they had to press. They were terrible. They were not the best duo corners in the NFL last year. You can never tell me you had the best corners in the NFL when you don't play any press coverage. You play zone all day. How do you know? 10 may be high, Peter, for him. Trade down. Trade down to 14 and pick him. Get a value pick at him. Well, he's rated the 7th best defensive player. Now, that probably puts him down around 14 or 15. Trade down there. Remember something. Always remember this. Unless you have the first pick and you're the Bears, you don't know who you're taking. Now, the Bears aren't probably picking a quarterback, but I say the Bears are trading. I think they want Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter and Hargrave. Ends all the Bears' problems. You get Carter on a rookie deal and you play Hargrave. And when Hargrave's deal gets too rich, you jettison his ass and you pay Carter. That's how they're thinking in Chicago. You understand? That's why it makes sense, Chicago, for Hargrave. Hargrave, you pay him the 18. 2 years with an option, 3-year deal. You bring in Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter's deal expires. You jettison Hargrave when he's at the top end of his contract, and he's 34. And you address your 2 D tackle position right away. Carter and Hargrave in Chicago, you're getting places. You're going places here. Joey Porter Jr. is ranked 8th. Physical, I talked to Manny Diaz about him. And I've told you this, Manny Diaz is former University of Miami head football coach. Smart, as you would expect. Decent hands. You know what, though? Kind of gets lost at times. Back there sometimes with complex passing schemes. And you got to remember something about corners in the Big Ten. Name me a corner from the Big Ten right now that you went like this. Man, this guy's fantastic. Name me one. Who do they play? Who are the elite players they play against? Wide receivers. Ohio State, Penn State, and then who? You really think these cornerbacks in the Big Ten play against a lot of elite guys like they do in the Southeastern Conference? The Justin Jeffersons, the Calvin Ridleys, the Devonta Smiths, the Jalen Waddles. They play those guys on a daily basis, and a weekly basis. You're going against premium players every week. That's why that stupid shit that you draft a guy out of North Dakota State. Never in a million years would I. Who are they playing against? Who's their competition? I want to play, and I want to have guys on my team that play against elite players every Sunday, Saturday, whatever. Look at you guys have to name me old-timey guys like Troy Vincent. Okay? I mean, who? I mean, right? Ramsey's a Florida State guy, if I'm not mistaken. Porter runs a 4.5. That's 4.5 plus. That's not spectacular. When you're 4.3, 4.4, shit. Neil Smith from Georgia, the edge rusher, ran a 4.3. I mean, 4.5 plus. You're not impressing me. The kid Ringo, not very good hands. But, he's an aggressive guy. Yeah, see, when I watch Joey Porter and I watch him on film, I don't know, man. He don't look that quick to me. He looks more like a safety to me. Honestly, Joey Porter looks more like a safety. I don't think the kid's – I don't know. If I'm going to draft anybody, I'm going to draft the Illinois kid because Lovey drafted him or recruited him. And I'm going to take the kid Gonzalez. Porter just doesn't look fast to me. He looks more like a safety. Cam Smith, South Carolina. Look, another Southeastern Conference corner. He's good. See, when you play against Kentucky, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Hooker, and you're going down the line and you're playing against these elite dudes, Bryce Young, you're playing against these top guys every freaking week. If you're at South Carolina, you're playing Kentucky. You're playing A&M. You're playing Georgia. You're playing Tennessee. You're playing against all these elite guys. That's game film for me. Like Dan Campbell says, dude showing up in pajamas and blowing the doors off. What do you want again? Jordan Davis? Hey, Jordan looked great in shorts. And he was great jumping on boxes. Last year, though, 13th pick, not really. We'll give him a chance, Sills. Yeah, okay. The kid Lloyd down in Jacksonville, he looked damn good. The kid McDuffie up in Washington, who plays in Kansas City, he looked pretty good. Starts for the world champion Chiefs. Okay? When you're playing, hey, one of the reasons why when we were at Miami and I'm playing against first-round draft choices every day, when we got on the Saturday fields, you were better than my first teams. I'm playing against Alonzo Highsmith, who was the third player taken, Vinny Testaverde, who was the first player taken, playing against an O-line where three guys in the line went in the first 3 rounds. The center went in the first round, Rakosi, and they're playing against the entire defensive line who went in the top 50 picks. 3 first-rounders and 1 second. Shit, today I'd be considered a second because I'd be the 56th player taken. I'd be a second-rounder today. My junior year. Hey, Cortez Kennedy and Russell Maryland, we're playing ones-on-ones. Saturdays came, you weren't better than my team. That's why we killed everyone. I'm playing against All-Americans and first-round draft choices every day for 2 hours, scrimmaging. I get in a game Saturday against East Carolina. That ain't going to work. 4.42 is excellent. I was shocked that he's only 180, but that's all right. He's a corner. Okay, that's all right. And Deonte Banks, Maryland, defensive back. It's funny they got him listed as both a corner and a safety. So your top 10 defensive players. Jalen Carter, Georgia, 1. Will Anderson, Bama, 2. Tyree Wilson, Texas Tech, 3. Miles Murphy, Clemson, 4, edge. Christian Gonzalez, Oregon, corner. Devon Witherspoon, Illinois, corner, 6. Brian Branch, Bama, safety, 7. Joey Porter Jr., 8, Penn State, corner. Cam Smith, South Carolina, cornerback, 9. Deonte Banks, Maryland, DB. One ACC guy. Let me see how many Southeastern Conference guys are in the top 10 here. 1, 2, 3, Four guys from the Southeastern Conference are in the top 10 best defensive players with all the kids in the country. Jesus Christ. Never ends down there. It never ends. If it were me, here's the conference that I would remember. You've got to play the law of averages when you're drafting. What's the conferences? Here, check this out. Am I going to recruit a quarterback? Am I going to recruit a cornerback in the Big 12? Not really. Those barn doors are so wide open in that conference, they play no defense. They play zero defense. How do I know they're good? How do I know the wide receivers are good? People go, CeeDee Lamb is great. CeeDee Lamb's a good ball player. He couldn't start on Alabama's team. You think he could start down there with Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle? CeeDee Lamb? I don't think so. I think he'd be the third dude down there. Hey, I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a good player. But he's not those dudes. Big Ten? Really? I told you this the other day. Big Ten running back, Zeke Elliott and who? If you take Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State out of the Big Ten, what are you recruiting? It's like Conference USA. Iowa, Indiana, Northwestern. I'm not saying there's not good players, but I mean, really? My averages are going to be, dude, I got a better chance of landing on a guy at Kentucky than I do at Illinois. The only reason there's guys at Illinois is because Lovey recruited them. I mean, look at the Pac-12. Southern Cal, when's the last defensive guy they've produced? I can't think of one. I mean, seriously, a superstar defensive guy at a USC. I don't know. Since Pete Carroll and Ed Ogeron were there, that's not been a place you go. Actually, a lot of the kids from Southern California and Los Angeles area are going to the SEC. They're not staying in Southern California anymore. Why? There's no competition. Huff. Okay. Great. Hour number 2. By the way, my friend Tim Brando, we're going to talk some college sports with him, get his thoughts on the combines. You guys have been fantastic. By the way, Big Seals is taking the week off next week. It's my first time that I'm going to have a vacation on JAKIB. Since I started doing this, it's going to be almost 2 years now. So this is the last hour for a week for Big Seals. So please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hour number 3, Tim Brando will join us. Keep it here on the National Football Show.